All right, live from the studios in Los Santos, California. It's Rob's Arcade with your host. No, Rob French. I meant to sit down. I always do this. I'm your host, Rob French. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Rob's Arcade, where the games get played and the games get saved so they get played on another day here in Rob's Arcade. Alright, guys, welcome to Rob's Arcade. I am your host, as I said, Rob French, aka Red 5 French here in the gaming world, and we are back for another Monday show. You know the deal, just coming at you, talking to you guys about my weekend, about the week coming up, what's been going on, and hopefully we'll have a topic maybe to get into as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's episode. I hope everybody's weekend was a good one. Hopefully it didn't go by too quickly. Mine kind of seemed like it went on forever. It felt like I just I didn't have off really any extra days. I'm off today all day. Typically I'm off during the day anyway, but I have to work in the evening. But I know Daisy watching my mother-in-law's dog. Come on, we'll get up here. She didn't used to like me. Now she loves me. And she's like, you gotta touch me, and you gotta be right next to me, and I gotta be right next to you. Um, so yeah, I have my mother-in-law, Carolyn's dog, Daisy. She moved this weekend, and my mother-in-law couldn't bring her dog with her right away. She's got to wait until her place is all set up. So my wife and I are keeping an eye on her, and our dog Veda, is actually in the vet right now, at the vet having a little surgery done. A little bit, sort of a spaying, but it's a little bit more than a spaying. They're going to do a little bit more than just that. She's been prone to getting these infections now during her cycle. We haven't had her spayed yet, and our plan was to have her spayed after this next cycle, and turns out she needs like a little bit more than just that. This last one was pretty bad, kind of scary at times. I've had female dogs in the past, and the cycle was pretty brutal. But she had a serious infection. Not going to go into too many gross details, but there was a lot of cleanup of linens and just her bedding and our bedding constantly every day. It's either in or out, girl. You can't do one or the other. Right now we're in a sound stage because I'm gonna let you out, and then you're gonna whine because you want to get in here. So, but yeah, so she's there now. Hopefully everything will go well. My wife is still, I guess, in Florida, on her way back from her weekend trip at Disney. So I haven't really had like a necessarily relaxing weekend. It's been kind of a busy one. Just between getting my wife to the airport and stuff on Friday, and then getting to work. Worked pretty hard Friday. It was Friday night waiting tables, so that was pretty brutal. And then Saturday, helping my mother-in-law pack and get the truck loaded up. Then I've been watching her dog and our dog as well this weekend, kind of solo. Like I said, my wife's been at Disney with her friend. There's like a Dapper Day, kind of self-explanatory. It's really funny. There's a Fashionistas Disney page that I follow. My wife does as well, I believe. And they're into Disney, they're into fashion, and it's kind of like a page that celebrates both and cool tributes to characters through costumes and fashion and design and stuff. And so they do this Dapper Day, and it was really funny to me. Like, it just kind of like is self-explanatory. Dapper Day, dapper, look dapper all day. There's like people in there like, what does this mean? What is this Dapper Day? And I'm just like, just Google it. I'm always amazed at like the technology we have the answers we have at our fingertips, and we still just go on Facebook, and that's just the general populace. Where is this? What is this? What is that? How do I get to this? Does anybody know? When you can literally just type it into a search engine. Dapper Day. Somebody didn't even know what dapper meant, and I was just like, that's just sad. You're 2021, and a full-grown adult doesn't quite understand what the word dapper means. So that was a little sad. But yeah, my wife and her friend Michelle went to Disney World for the weekend to do this Dapper Day where they get all dressed up as one of their favorite characters or rides or attractions and celebrate their love for Disney and their love for getting dressed up and getting their hair did and their makeup done. And it's really cool. My wife, she did Minnie from the Jungle Cruise look, so it was a really cute candy striped dress and a safari look, really cool. I saw some photos of some other really cool costumes, guys getting all dolled up and dressed up as well, not just the ladies. One lady did a really cool like rainbow silver Epcot ball dress, which was really neat, and just I don't know, it was really cool. So anyway, she's been doing that this week, and she comes back today. But yeah, this past weekend I've been kind of rolling solo, just kind of tackling everything here without her, doing all the goodbyes, saying all the goodbyes, which was kind of we had a few dinners for Carolyn, my mother-in-law, before she headed out, and I kept expecting the tears to come between like Carrie Ann and her because they're really close, and never really happened. I was really surprised. And then, of course, the final day, Saturday, uh, Carrie Ann's in Florida, and I'm here kind of doing like the big send-off and the dinner and everything. And of course, there we are. As we're saying goodbye. I'm the one crying for both of us and trying to get it together. But it's, as my cousin said today, it's not goodbye. It's just we'll see you later. See you in a little bit. Like I said, and we have her dog, so when she gets all settled, we'll be up there to at least bring her dog to her, which I know has got to be hard. It's hard for me, speaking of Disney, a lot of times we'll go for 2 weeks when we take these trips because we'll do a week at Disney, and then we'll do a week with her family. So it's like 2 weeks we're gone away from the dogs, and I've always just never been a fan of that. Well, do you want to come in? Where are you at? Get in here. And then in a few minutes, you're going to want to get out. I know. Well, sit up here next to me for a second, and I'll pet you some. And then yesterday was really fun. Buck came over. We got some Mortal Kombat time in. Watched the new movie. I watched the old movie, and then we watched the new movie. And I think Buck put it quite well yesterday. He wasn't pleasantly surprised. I think we were both just overall impressed with the film. Just overall happy in general with the movie, and how well they executed the franchise. I think there's certain things in certain moments as a video game fan that you kind of look forward to from a video game movie, and we both felt like there was a video game cues that really hit very well. The sound was great, the music was great, the acting was great. I think even like some of the cheese factor was there that you kind of expect in some of these action movies. I think all could do without. I'm not going to try to give too much away, but I think we all could do without the actual Jax pumping the iron to get those big metal arms. I don't know what that was all about, but that was pretty hilarious. Hashtag Jax torso, Steve Urkel arms. But yeah, really cool movie. I think a great homage to the franchise, and it left us wanting to play some Mortal Kombat 11, which we ran through some of that. Buck, I think, definitely held the upper hand yesterday in the Mortal Kombat matches. Those are pretty brutal. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm getting a call. Hold on one second. Yes, sir. Pretty good, pretty good.
And she wanted to have a crate for when she comes out of her surgery. So the crate is taking up almost the whole back section, and when I pick up the girls, they're going to have all their luggage. So what I was thinking is maybe I would come by and drop off the crate prior to going and picking them up at the airport.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay?
I probably won't be here because I'm going to be running around picking up stuff myself, but you can just like leave it on the front porch.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, cool.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate
You bet.
Later.
Later. All right, so that's not going to work well at all. Apparently my wife wants to put our dog in a crate after her surgery, and I'm actually going to text her once I'm done with this episode because that's just not going to... I don't think she realizes what kind of dog we have, and she is not going to be down for the crate life. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. But anyway, yeah, we had a great time. Ran through some Mortal Kombat 11, did some cool finishing moves, did some cool friendship moves. Played some old games. Got into like some old Disney, DuckTale, Chippendale Afternoon titles, um, which are always fun. The 8-bit titles are always a lot of fun. But I couldn't remember like it was being that. I don't remember 8-bit games being that. I mean, God, these games were so hard yesterday, man. I mean, like, we really could have dedicated a whole day just to playing these games. And, not even just Mortal Kombat, just like, F watching the movie, F watching this, F playing this. Just we literally probably could have spent hours just trying to run through one of these Nintendo games. But I think that was part of that the idea of games back then. Today we kind of play games and we get these big stories and we kind of run through and we take it as an entertainment at the face value of it, where you get the story, this narrative. Whether you feel like you're playing a game or whether you feel like you're actually in that story, it's kind of meant to be played through and beaten. And some of them have like an open world aspect that once you've kind of played the game, you can kind of go through and still enjoy the world and the characters at your leisure and experience the game more freely. But for the most part, games weren't really designed like that back then. And I think designers we're kind of faced with that idea of like, okay, a game needs to be fun and it needs to be entertaining, but it also needs to be really challenging because what's the point of buying a game, spending 30, 40, $50 on a game if you're going to run through it in an afternoon and then not really want to play it anymore? Because like, today we have like these, download contents and extra add-ons and things that you can do with the game that, you didn't really have back then. The basic playability of a game was, you play through one time, and then if you want to play it differently, you could maybe do a different difficulty setting, and that could sometimes add a variation to the game. But for the most part, playing a game didn't really offer you a whole lot of difference when going through and doing like a replay. Oh yeah. So let's see, what is this about? Maybe it's in a text message. Oh well, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. But yeah, we were playing those games yesterday, and gosh, they were just super tough. And I think it's also just like a lot of this bad guy's here, this bad guy's there, and you memorize where all this stuff is at. You then play through again. You don't take as much damage.
Listen, this is
because you kind of remember where everything is. You remember where this bad guy is. You remember where that bad guy is. And it's more about just kind of memorizing where everything is. And then you get to level 2, you die a bunch, and so you remember where everything is, and it's just a kind of a brutal pattern. I don't know what happened here. So yeah, I was a little late getting into Rob's Arcade today for the Monday show, simply because apparently from the last time I was playing this with my cousin Holden, I just kind of respawned out by some gangsters. And, you know, I had to take care of that real quick. But then that led to me, of course, commandeering, quote-unquote, vehicle.
Don't say anything.
And then running from the police, and yeah, it was just, I don't know. It was, there was a lot going on before we had to hop into Rob's Arcade, costume change. Sorry, I was looking at Daisy looking out the window. I did not mean to hit that car. So I was going to have a topic today. I don't know if I'm really going to get into it just because, I mean, gosh, we've only got about, what, 10 minutes left here? Oh, 7 minutes. But I mentioned earlier we had a few dinners to kind of send Carolyn off as, you know, she's heading to Jersey to kind of start this next chapter in her lives. It's kind of funny. We're heading south to Florida, and she's heading a little bit further up north to Jersey Shore. And we went out to eat to a place called Yaya's Cookbook, I think it was, and it was, get out of here, back up. You're gonna knock stuff over, Daisy. You're too big. You're too big. Get up here. Get back up here. It was a sushi place, and I'm not big on sushi, so I wasn't really excited as everybody else. Everybody else eats sushi, and they were all excited. Oh, some good sushi, some good sushi. And it's not that I'm not like a fan of fish or any of the ingredients. I just feel like for me, there's too much in like one bite of sushi. I almost feel like a bite of sushi could kind of be like, oh, I hope I win this guy. This is beautiful. I almost just feel like even for like a bite, like you're supposed to like eat it as like this whole roll. There's just like way too much, and it makes me just almost feel like I'm gonna gag just even thinking about it, because it's just like, like how do you chew that much food at one time? Let's get a good spin here. And you know, I watch, you know, a lot of that was so weak. Oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me? That was so weak. No, I'm not even happy with that. I like slammed my hand against this thing twice, and that was the weak little spin I got. Can you believe that? That's just such garbage. Wow. But yeah, just like I said, I feel like there's just like too much in sushi. So anyway, I'm just not like excited. I'm not hype about it. But they have like some you know, some options, some grilled stuff, some chicken, some steak, you know, whatever. I can live. And you know, we do some appetizers, and you know, all day. Like I'm not really eating a lot all day, just because I want to make sure, you know, I feel like every video of mine has been getting rained out lately. What's going on with this? It's crazy. So yeah, I don't eat a whole lot. You know, I'm just like, I'm gonna take it kind of easy throughout the day. Like I kind of want to go hard at dinner. You know. We do some appetizers, but again, I'm not trying to do anything too crazy with the apps because, you know, I'm trying to save myself for dinner. So I just try a little of this, a little of that. We're having, you know, beers and cocktails and what have you. And it's nice. So far, so good. And then the food starts to come out, and, you know, everybody's getting their plates of sushis, and, you know, I'm expecting mine to take a few minutes longer just because it is a hot dish. And everything comes out, and people are eating, and my food still isn't out. And you know, people are finishing up their plates, and again, my food still isn't out. And then I start to notice, and then my wife is kind of like, well, you know, you did order like chicken, so maybe I was like, no, honey, I'm like, you know, I'm kind of looking around now at this point. And it's like, you know, I was right there with her. Is that just a fire hydrant? It looked like a weird. Yeah. I was right there with her, you know, up until about like 5 minutes before she, it kind of came up again, like, where's your food? And it's just like, this guy's finishing his plate. Her brother's like working on his second plate. Um, my food's still not out. So we got somebody over, and it was clear that, they just simply did not put my order in. And then for something like as simple as orange chicken, it seemed to take a long time for that to come out. And like, I work in the restaurant, business myself. I'm a server myself, and I know I've been there. But typically, like, I can get a mistake fixed relatively quickly, um, so that a customer most often doesn't even know I've made a mistake. It basically becomes like one of those things like, oh well, the kitchen is kind of packed right now, or this side's a little bit busier than that side. That's why your pizza's out and the sandwich isn't, not because I forgot to put the sandwich in. Clearly I forgot to put the sandwich in, or I forgot the fries. Like, oh crap, Javi, give me fries. It happens. Stuff happens. Um, but I don't know. I just felt like even to get something as simple as steamed chicken, steamed rice and broccoli and orange glazed chicken, which it's not like they freshly battered and cooked this stuff. They got a hot pan of this Chinese chicken in the back. Daisy, stop pulling on my arm. Oh, what? Are you kidding me again with the bong? Dude. This is so, like, it's one thing before the show or after the show, dude, but during, and you saw that. It said sit down, and then all of a sudden it's like, it did the bong. So weak. But at this point, everybody's done eating. I didn't even feel like eating anymore, just because I don't know if you can relate to this aspect of it, but there's just like this anxiety that, like, the staff is walking by, nobody's making eye contact. Um, they messed up. Everybody's eaten. You almost don't want to eat now because everybody else is done eating, and it's like, well, what's the point? I don't know if I'm in the mood to even eat right now. And then I sat there and I had to eat, and it was just, I don't know, I felt kind of sick. It's like I have to eat now. I don't even. It was just, I don't know, it was very, very unpleasant, and it just kind of really put me off to the point now where I'm just like, I don't know if I want to eat out anymore. Just because, not just this experience, but I just feel like the last dozen or so times I've been out to eat have not been great experiences. The Carrabba's that we went to a few Wednesdays ago for the new comic book day and lunch was actually, I just got $2,000 for good behavior. Really? I don't know about that. I've been kind of bad before this whole video started. I'm not gonna lie. You guys saw the crime scene outside my house. Um, the Carrabba's was nice. Nothing like overly amazing, but just the fact that all the food came out and everything came out, you know, with like an appropriate time, and like the salad and everything was paced properly. Like, it was good. But to me, like, that's not to be like, that shouldn't be like, oh wow, I'm impressed with like basically how a dinner out should go. And I'm not asking for the service that I give people, because I'm not trying to be an asshole and egotistical either. But I give amazing, amazing service to the people who visit our restaurant. There are tables that come in and they don't need to give me their drinks. They don't need to tell me what appetizer they like. They can come in, sit down. I can bring out their drinks. Let them know their appetizer is in. And then see if they need a few minutes to decide, okay, that's my timer. Or 4 telling me it's time to wrap this episode up. But yeah, so like that's the kind of service I give. Making my rounds around the table, making sure everybody has everything they need. Making multiple stops throughout. Sometimes, you pop in the beginning of the meal, everything is fine, everything is going great, but then towards the end, they're like, oh, you know what? I do kind of want this, or maybe some dessert would be nice. And even though this last time we went out, like this, I don't even feel like the waitress came over to see if everything was okay, because I feel like if she did, right away it'd be like, oh hey, yeah, my food isn't here, not 10, 15 minutes after the plates have hit the table. We went out to eat in January, a couple of places. I expect Disney to be, um, good all the way around. Although there was just a couple of restaurants that just really didn't tickle me the way that Disney typically has done in the past with even their food. And then outside, just grabbing some food with her aunt at a couple of places. I mean, like, remember one, the drinks didn't come out for like 15 minutes, and her aunt Marlene got a frozen drink, and you could clearly tell um, that it wasn't made appropriately, and it just kind of sat and then re-stirred and remixed, and then sent back out. So I don't know. It's just I don't know. Maybe as I wrap this up, you guys can think about some of your past experiences. If this is something that you guys have come across too. I don't know if it's because of how COVID has been treating restaurants, and if I know there's also a lot of times the gratuity is already built in as soon as you walk in. So maybe it's like, why do I have to work for it if I'm already getting this? I don't know. Um, but yeah, maybe let me know down in the comments what your past and recent dining out experiences have been like now that everybody's getting vaccinated and the weather's getting better. Everybody is heading back out and getting more food and dining out and celebrating and blah 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 blah. So let me know if I'm alone on this, guys. That's the big topic today: eating out and what your experiences have been like. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's keep our fingers crossed for Veda. Let's hope she's okay today. It's Monday. Let's start this week great. And something else I'm going to implicate too, starting going out, mandatory Mondays. I want you guys to do something you don't typically do. I'm not going to give you anything to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But mandatory Monday. You got to do something you typically don't do. Do something outside your box today, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment below, like, all that jazz. And until next time, don't forget, don't spend your quarter anywhere else. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. Later.